Alright, we're live, people. We are live. This is... Best make sure this thing's actually working. We're not going to go as long as sometimes I do, because in case you didn't know what day it is today, it's the UEFA Champions League final tonight. So I'm going to be watching that, and I'll probably order a pizza. Today has been a big day in the world of politics. It's been a huge day, or yesterday, should I say? It was a huge day. It was wow. It was. I couldn't believe it. You know, people were messaging on Discord saying, you know, have you seen this? And I was like, look, man, you know, I was taking the day off. Then it's what Boris Johnson does. He doesn't let you rest. He don't let you rest, and he resigned yesterday. Okay, as I try and remember how to use Discord, and I can't spell. But yeah, it's one of those ones. It's a big day in the history of the UK politics scene. I bought a special bottle today. I bought a Fanta glass bottle to celebrate. Glass Fanta, you know, cost me £1.69. Got it because I got delayed. Went shopping. Yeah, having a load of by-elections. Right, that's three so far, and rumours of more potential by-elections. Actually, I've got a billion tabs open. I did want to move around some stuff, which is on me. Let's move this one over here from the dreaded Express. But yeah, how's everything going? I'll do my announcement once we hit, I don't know, like 20 people. I think 20 people is doable. We'll do the announcement after going through a few topics. We'll go through what the people have asked first of all, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, Champions League final night, gang. Big of a glass of wine in France. It's 7 p.m. Well, I've got the big Fanta here. Mum was saying I can share it. I ain't gonna share it. This is a momentous day. Because that absolute fraud is finally gone. And you know, if you can't hear the excitement in my voice, then I don't know what to tell you. That fraud is finally gone. Boris Johnson gone. He'll probably be back, no doubt, but he won't be as kind of what do you call it? He won't be as popular, I guess, or he won't have the power that he once had over the Conservative Parliamentary Party, the CLP. He ain't gonna have that no more because he's cooked. I think he's done out. He's gonna destroy the whole party because he sees the party as backstabbing him, even though it was his fault. He created this whole fiasco. It's all on him. Absolutely, all of this was on him. He messed up. Thanks, Simon. Simon Milton. Yeah, he messed up. This was his fault. If there wasn't Partygate, if there wasn't the Pincher scandal, if there wasn't the myriad of other scandals, you know, his arrogance is what made him who he is, right? But it also is the thing that took him away from him. You know, it's like that classic thing is like, I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it, and that's what Boris Johnson's arrogance did. You know, it gave him all of the election victories. Mayor of London twice, etc. He did. His career is full of wins in terms of politically what he has achieved. You know, he's a generational politician. You have to give him credit there. You know, what he has achieved in politics is monumental. If you look at it from a winning point of view, but what he has done to this country, he's destroyed this country. It's detrimental, or his actions are detrimental to this country. I don't know words. But point being is what he has done is damage this country to no end. There's endless lies, the corruption, the cover-ups, everything. Madness. Absolute madness. But I'm happy this is over. Or at least it feels over for now. It definitely feels like the, when you kill the first boss and he gets a second stage and you're like, bruh, because you gave everything to take him out. And you've got no health left. And you don't want to keep going, but you know he's got a second stage, so you got to stance up again. That's the nightmare I went through a couple of weeks ago. Are you sure you're going to answer all the questions? I'm going to try. I'm gonna try because I got till whatever the final starts. Plus I got like 50 minutes. Plus I got to order some food. So yeah, I think I've got enough time. Thank you for the 40 Myanmar currency. But if I keep talking, it's not gonna happen. But like I said, it's not every day you can celebrate like this. You can pour one out for the homies. Absolutely pour one out because this is a monumental occasion. Honestly, a monumental occasion. He's done. He's cooked. I think.
We
I got some clips I want to play for you guys later, but we're gonna get through this. So we'll go through some topics, and we'll end. I don't know what time the final starts. That's the problem. I'll have to check. I'll have to see what time it starts, but once it starts, we're going to be pulling the plug on this real quick. So in fact, you're probably right there. I need to answer questions, but we've got 20 people watching, so I'll do my announcement first, which is I'll be starting a full-time job on Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of hours, 37 hours a week. So yeah, it means the I think the uploads on the channel are going to be not gone, but it'll be probably 3-4 videos a week plus the live stream I'll do every Saturday. So it'll be less content, but it'll be good for the channel. I can get the stuff I've always wanted to get. I can get a new microphone so you don't hear all of the background noises and stuff like that, things I don't want in the videos. I can finally get the studio done this year. Work, but yeah, I can finally get the things that I've wanted to do since last year, really. Since the beginning of last year, the stuff I'd planned to do, but things didn't work out that way. So this bottle is me kind of celebrating me getting a role as well. All right, big man. All right, big man. Okay. I see you. Okay, all right then. It's not my live stream, apparently. Fact, it's yours. Let's see some questions then. So we'll start with Sabine. So I'm going to post this every Monday. I've decided, as long as I remember, every Monday there'll be a community post on the channel. So if you've got any questions, post it in the community section. Just don't post anything that's going to require too much research, because I'll just do a video on that instead. Thanks, Simon. Says, first question from Sabine. He just goes by newest. What is fact eating? Good question. So 2 questions. I would like to know your feelings about the evolution of Brexit and the problems for everyday life in the coming months, especially in the autumn and at the beginning of winter, when controls on EU products will be put in place. Personally, I think they will push them back to prevent the UK suffering even more shortages. So if we go through the first question, the first question is, I think they will push the checks back again. I think you're right, because as we come out of kind of the harvest period, food prices will continue to go back up, and if the weather gets really bad, I can imagine a lot of lorry drivers not wanting to come to the UK even more than they do now, kind of EU-based lorry drivers. Given the fact that the food inflation is going to remain quite high, because of the fact that we're doing some customs fees and all that stuff. So the cost of imports has gone up on the importer side and the exporter side. So if you're exporting from the EU, there's paperwork you have to fill in, and obviously that costs you money. So you're not going to export to the UK. That's the reason why we ran into the issues of tomatoes, in my opinion. So the issue there is, like, we had a shortage because exporters in Spain or Morocco didn't want to deal with the UK paperwork, so instead they exported more to Ireland, because Ireland is further out than obviously Great Britain is, but because the paperwork is that prohibitive, they decided to export to Ireland. So Ireland didn't see the shortages. There were fears of it, but they didn't have it. Sort of the evolution of Brexit for everyday. I think that's a tough one. I think when you talk about the evolution of it, if we look at it from the trade perspective, importing and exporting stuff for the ordinary person, if we look at it from the average person's point of view, maybe that's the best way to answer the question. Hopefully you're right with that. For me to import stuff from the EU as an individual, right, I can get hit with customs fees. Customs fees suck, all right? I've had that before when I imported some stuff from Japan. You had lots of tomatoes in Ireland, apparently. So, customs fees trying to import stuff. Customs fees exporting stuff, if you're a small trader, right? If you're trying to get into the EU, travel into the EU, you get stuck at the ports. You're in the non-EU queue. You're in the slow lane, effectively. Even if you went through the E-gates, which certain countries allow you to, such as Portugal, you still got to get your passport stamped. That takes time. That's another queue. So I think for the average person, the evolution of Brexit is cost money to go anywhere. You're slower wherever you go, and I think there are a lot of I'm going to say English people that are annoyed that when they see people that are Irish go through the EU, and they'll feel that as well when they see people of different kind of EU ethnicities go through the fast lane effectively. So the evolution of Brexit, if we talk about it from the ordinary person's point of view, I think we covered that. If we talk about it in terms of what it's done for the country, in terms of the mudslinging that we've done, all of the, calling the EU the USSR when, there were certain former EU member states like Poland and Croatia, the Czech Republic. These were, parts of the USSR effectively by force. And, let's not forget there's the Prague Spring and all of these uprisings against the USSR. So I think for us to compare the EU to the USSR was really stupid, honestly. So I hope that answers your question. Let me know in the comments if there's any other thing you wanted me to mention there. But I think that answers your question. So yeah, just let me know on that one. We got one from Mr. Fact Not Fiction himself saying, given that the city is the largest contributor to the UK's economy while also being an industry that is very mobile, what can the UK do to stop the erosion of highly paid job functions? And to that I asked, can you ask an easy question? And he didn't say anything. So apparently no, he cannot ask easy questions. So I don't appreciate it, in fact. There's nothing the UK can do. That's the problem, because we tried to get an equivalency deal with the EU. They said no. So what that means is at some point, most of the services the UK offers won't be available to kind of EU traders, as far as I'm aware. And the worst thing is, fact, you can answer this question better than I can, but obviously you want me to explain it to the audience. So when you look at, so you talk about services, right? The city. So the city is more than just financial stuff. It's lawyers, it's accountants, all of that kind of stuff, right? It's the basis around kind of financial services. It's all the other stuff. And when you look at the fact that we're not in the Lugano Convention, that's something you talk about a lot. That means legal cases won't be settled here as much in the UK. That obviously costs us money, or loses us money, I guess. I don't think there's anything the UK can do. If we can't get some sort of alignment deal or equivalency deal here, which from what I've read, Starmer doesn't want to do either on services, it's not, they're going to go to France, they're going to go to Germany, to Ireland, but I think most importantly, they're going to go to New York, because New York, we saw this with ARM, New York has more money, New York is more prestigious. The UK it's important people don't, I think with the UK, it was seen as the most, I think, prestigious stock market in Europe, right? And I could be wrong on this. Feel free if anyone wants to correct me in the comments. I think the City of London was the most prestigious stock market, probably outside of New York. I don't know how kind of the stock market in Tokyo is looked at, right? In Japan, but I think the UK was seen as the second one, right? Because no one's beating New York, let's be honest. New York's got more money, more prestige, more traders, etc. But I don't think there's anything the UK can do, because the EU are looking to take chunks out of the City of London. And without an alignment deal, without more companies wanting to float on the UK stock market, I don't think there's a lot the UK can do. It depends how much time Maureen McGuinness has, because she seems pretty determined to take out as many as the kind of functions out of the City of London as possible. The problem is that the traders like the City of London. That's the problem. The traders like the City of London, so that's the problem. I think some of the European-based banks have asked to keep access to the City of London, because it's just, I think they find it easier rather than splitting amongst different European stock markets. But I think London, the problem is it's going to New York. Whoever can get on and float onto New York, I think they're going to go onto New York, and whatever's left of that, I think they will float onto London. But when you look at ARM, they just said it wasn't worth it setting up doing kind of one, floating their stock in London. They said it wasn't worth their time, and ARM are desperate to kind of get investment. I think they made a lot of losses. I think SoftBank did. So I don't think there's much the UK can do, honestly, without some sort of equivalency or alignment deal with the EU when it comes to financial services, which is something Starmer is not pushing for. So neither of the two parties really want it. I don't think there's a lot the UK can do, and this is a puncture at the moment, I'd say. I felt that ARM felt like there wasn't enough money available. Yes. They felt like it wasn't enough money in the United Kingdom, and they also didn't feel like it was worth the time to do two stock flotations on two different stock markets, so they chose New York over us, which makes sense. But given the fact that the UK's kind of image is tarnished via Brexit and the fact that European traders have to trade with New York instead. Yeah, Euro clearing business went to New York. I think, unfortunately, European traders are just going to have to accept, like, you're going to have to trade, on the New York Stock Exchange. And the problem with that is the time zone's very different. I think they've just got to suck it up. I don't think there's much the UK can do unless we can get some sort of alignment deal. And given the fact that the UK are deregulating, as kind of Sabine points out here, so if we go on to kind of her comment on this one, unless the UK deregulates to bring in a lot of currency, a lot of, still being the laundromat of Europe, I don't see how they can prevent certain financial assets moving elsewhere into Europe or the USA. So I can't see it happening. We're exposed to currency fluctuation that sterling has been the victim of. Yes. Yeah, and I don't, I can see the clearing just going to New York, honestly, because New York is built for it. New York is, you would know as well. Thanks, Regine, for the €5, with no comment. Fair enough. I respect that. Point being is I can see him going to New York, and there's nothing the UK can do about it, I think, because, at the moment it's clearing will never go to New York. Oh, it's going to go back into the EU. You're talking about Euro clearing, right? So Euro clearing will go. They'll have to figure out. Oh, fair enough. It's got to stay in the Eurozone. It's counterproductive for the EU. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I don't know which country will take it. It's up to that specific country to show that it can deal with the clearing, I think, or specific countries. I read the list that the 10 biggest financial markets, the city is sixth in the world, after New York, Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong. Yeah, those are all based in Asia. That's the problem. Frankfurt's the new frontrunner. Yeah, it could be Frankfurt then. It just depends on if any of the because the problem with this is, yeah, Amsterdam's a good option. The problem with this is Macron seemed determined to, or Macron was the guy I would say would have looked at trying to bring the financials into Paris, into France. But for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it's happened, and that's surprising given Macron's background as a former banker. If I'd put my money on it, a lot of the services, I think, have moved to Amsterdam because of the low taxes and the fact that Dutch people have ridiculously good English. To the point where I was like, your English is probably better than mine, which is frustrating because you know two languages better than me. Clearing in Hamburg, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I can't, to answer your question, fact, there is nothing the UK can do, and the more we look to deregulation, the more money we'll bring in from kind of Asia and stuff. But the less money I think we'll bring in from Europe. And some of these bankers, they don't want deregulation because with the regulatory floor, what it means is that, when shareholders say, oh, why don't you make us more money? Like, oh, because these rules are in the way. I can't make more money because of it. Certain leveraging rules and stuff like that. But if there's massive deregulation and those rules aren't there anymore, people will tell the hedge fund managers, why haven't you made me a certain amount of money? I want, 3x my money. And they can't point to the rules that have stopped them. They can't point to, massive leveraging that they can do, things like that. The Dutch speak English is their second language. Yeah, I mean, you'd think it's their first language given how good they are. So you depend on the Labour Party to the Labour Party ain't going to save the City of London, because Starmer's saying they're not going to get an equivalency deal. He said he's going to get a deal for Fit for Britain. So, we're not, no one is saving the City of London. The City of London's going to have to save itself here. And they ain't got the facilities to do that. That's the problem. Because these are political decisions. These go way above the City of London, and they done goofed because they backed the Tory party for decades, and now it's the Tory party that've screwed it. They helped make the City of London, and now they've destroyed the City of London. Isn't that ironic? Honestly. So in fact, I hope that's answered your question. And yeah, so we've got one more third post, and like I said, if you want the streams to go on longer, just put a question when I post the thing. The problem is I can't share these because YouTube suck. So if I try and share it, it makes another post. In honor of being rescued from the Nazis by the British, there's still resentment towards the Germans in the Netherlands. I imagine there'd be some resentment, especially amongst the older people, but I think that will fade. That will fade, honestly, as time goes on. It just depends on how much kind of cultural integration you see between the two groups, I'd say. So final question on the community post before we go through other topics. And see, I got through of them okay. Which is, so I would suggest discussing Phil's cunning plan that the UK simply should join the PEM in order to outsmart the rules of origins issue around EV batteries. Why this plan of YouTube Baldrick don't know what that's a reference to. Is as cunning as those original Baldric. See my explanation. So if we jump to Ellie's explanation, she's just roasting Phil, so we're trying to avoid that a bit because no point bringing that sort of negativity on the stream. Question, could you do a thread? See, so my input for the next stream would be discussing Phil's video. I think I watched it originally and I haven't watched it since, but we'll go over the PEM stuff, just because. Apparently he thinks the UK can simply join the PEM as she pleases, when in fact it's a treaty between the EU and non-EU countries she approved of. See, tiny problem. The EU would need to approve the UK's application to PEM in it. It's her club, remember? Explain to me why she would do so. All members of the PEM must sign the Barcelona Declaration. EU members are signed automatically via membership. The UK lost by Brexiting. The Barcelona Declaration refers to Mediterranean countries. Are you personally hooking Brexit mania onto your rubber dinghies and moving her to Tenerife? Blah, blah, blah. So, if we look at, I'm going to just skip his video, right? If we look at the Barcelona Declaration, there's a longer thing you can read from the EU, but, as everything, one does not simply walk into the single market. Yeah, I've been screaming that for the longest. I've been saying that before anyone else. Any of the other guys on YouTube were saying it, and some of them still don't get it. But, we move. So we can do. So, which countries signed the Barcelona Declaration? So you've got 12 members. So you got Algeria, Cyprus, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Malta, Morocco, the Palestinian Authority, Syria, Tunisia, and Turkey. So the Barcelona Declaration convinced that the general objective of turning the Mediterranean basin into an area of dialogue, exchange, cooperation, peace, stability and prosperity requires a strengthening of democracy and for human rights sustainability. So obviously, we can try and sign up to it. The problem is it's for the Mediterranean, and last time I checked, we are not in the Mediterranean, as Ellie pointed out. So to join this PEM agreement, you're meant to be part of. You have to sign the Barcelona Declaration, which is a problem. But I think the Barcelona Declaration is there just to build dialogue between these different countries, and it's very rare. I'd imagine you'd see some sort of group where Israel and the Palestinian Authority are in the same group. But these aren't the most democratic states that we can see here. But so that shouldn't be a problem for the UK to join. The problem is geography. Thought Malta was part of the EU. I think you're right, actually. No, yeah, Malta isn't. Malta. This is probably an old article. No, Malta is. Malta's membership was in 2003, so it's probably an old piece. But then again, all of them EU members are originally aligned. But yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Malta is in the EU. Yeah, I thought they were. But yeah, this is probably. Well, this is an EU article though. Huh. Archived. There you go. It's an archived article, so that makes sense. So it doesn't really matter. I don't know when they publish this, but yeah, we move. Gibraltar needs closed. Spain must build the wall. Spain ain't gonna do that. What is the Barcelona Declaration? So it's about dialogue, exchange, stuff like that. So this stuff not too important, but what we do know is the UK. Just when you discuss PEM, I'm shopping groceries and can't. You got to put down the groceries. You gotta be patient. So the whole point of the PEM is it's about rules of origins. Basically, it's an agreement around rules of origins, as far as I can tell. So where can I find the rules of origin? So you can read their website, which has the longer stuff, which is for nerds, trade nerds, and I'm not a trade nerd. Let's be honest now. So those rules are clear and blah blah blah. It's basically around rules of origin. So it's around like having certain things manufactured within either the PEM member or the EU, that kind of stuff. The Pan-Euro-Mediterranean Convention on Preferential Rules of Origins, establishing common rules of origins and culmination among PEM members contracting parties EFTA states, Turkey, the countries which signed the Barcelona Declaration, the Balkans, the Faroe Islands, the Republic of Moldova, Georgia, Ukraine. So it's possible the UK could join this, but it's up to the EU, and is it in the EU's interest, right? When it comes to cars, for example, the EU is going to want to bring as much car manufacturing into the EU as possible, because that's in their interest. It's not in their interest to buy cars, for example, from Great Britain when they could make the cars in the EU and sell the cars in the EU, or sell them to Great Britain. And there's a thing here actually from Barnier that's worth discussing, which is EU former negotiator Barnier says the UK should expect the bloc to defend its own interests in negotiations on the car industry and financial services. And I think that's really important, because we'll discuss that a bit later as the server times out again. But if you guys can see what I'm saying here, like, it's in the EU's interest. You don't necessarily have to be in the Mediterranean to sign up to this agreement, but you will have to sign up to the Barcelona Declaration, which might be a bit tricky because it's about promoting democratic things, which the UK is not promoting democratic things right now. Is it possible we join this agreement? Yes, but again, what's in it for the EU? It can promote trade, things like that. The EU is not... the EU is pragmatic in that sense. If it's in the EU's benefit for us to join this, then sure, we should go for it. But for anyone to believe that Labour are just suddenly going to get an agreement, if anyone thinks that Labour can just quickly get into the PEM agreement, it's just fantasy. It's just fantasy, in my opinion. I just don't think it will happen. But could it happen over time? Yes. Getting a rules of origins agreement, it'd be a good thing for us to do. But it doesn't. What this will do is protect you from tariffs. But the issue is, like, this won't. How much will this help the UK car industry when there's already, if a certain percentage of the car is made within Great Britain or the EU, they won't face tariffs. So how much more will this help? I don't know. But if this gives us a massive competitive edge over the EU, for example, or if this allows massive amounts more investment to go into the EU or to the UK, or even if they think it's going to do that, right? If the EU thinks that giving the UK PEM access will greatly benefit the UK, they probably won't do it. If it affects them, that's the point. Let's see, any interesting comments? Let's see, I've missed quite a few actually. Brexiteers seem to want to join organisation groups that don't fit with Britain's geographical locations. I mean, this is Phil talking about it, so I don't think that's fully true. But if there are any Brexiteers talking about this, then probably best to ignore them. Yeah, the UK can't join without the EU's acceptance. True. Excuse me. That's what happens when you drink fizzy drinks on stream. The CTA doesn't allow diagonal combination due to weak negotiation by the UK. Therefore, the UK would need to join the PEM. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I remember you mentioning that to me a while ago, a couple of weeks ago. For the UK to do and end around to join a bloc is quite telling. Some non-entity MP has resigned. Sunak's got 3. Yes, I'll be talking about that later. Yeah, the EU could approve of us joining PEM. It's possible, but it's not gonna rescue the industry. That's the problem, and you still got things like state aid, which you still got loads of other factors to deal with here. The Labour Party have talked about building 8 gigafactories or something like that in the UK for batteries, and if they're going to be built via state aid, the EU are going to be like, look, this is more socialism. No, I'm joking, they're not going to say that. But they're going to say, we don't have to accept these because the only reason you're making these at these prices is because the government are pouring money in. And, the EU members like doing state aid. But the EU can say, we're not going to allow it. What are you going to do? Honestly, because, like I said, the EU is the bigger trader here. It's got more leverage in trade negotiations. That's something Brexit has never realised. So I hope that answered your question, Ellie, around the PEM and the fact that, like, is it possible the UK could join? Yeah, maybe. Is it going to save the UK? Definitely not. It's just about rules of origins agreement, which we already have for cars. I think it's if 65% of the car has to be made within the EU or within the UK, I believe. So either 65% or 45%. I can't remember which one. And so what's a PEM deal going to do for that? Honestly. So it's just a bit ridiculous, to be honest. It's true. Phil is the rejoiners equivalent now. Yeah, it does feel like it sometimes, but again, like, this is not. I'm determined not to make this stream a let's roast Phil stream. Honestly, because it's too easy. It's too easy to do that. Whoops, that was for Discord yesterday. What was this one? Oh yeah, Mordaunt's embarrassing attack on Labour. We'll leave that one. So let's go on to some of the topics I wanted to discuss. I asked them how much they charge. That is terrible. That is such a bad joke. Joke so bad you thought Fearless would have said it. Anyways, this is the guy someone was mentioning earlier about the no-name MP. Rules of origin is nothing when it comes to... Yeah, that's going to be a big problem because the free ports, there's no... The other problem the UK is going to run into is with regards to the free ports, there's no checks on stuff coming out of the free ports. And so what that means is that stuff will leak into the UK, and manufacturers will try and use those goods made or imported via the free port. That's going to be massively problematic because free ports aren't included in trade deals for obvious reasons. They have much lower standards, taxes, wages, all that kind of stuff, and it puts the other side at a competitive advantage, the one that is benefiting from the free port. So that's a bad idea. So yeah, lots to kind of discuss with free ports, but I need more information on that one. I'm still quite far behind, as you can see. So there's that. So if we go on to the topics around the Tories, and I'll take some questions once we get through all of these, which is yesterday, Selby Conservative selected an excellent new parliamentary candidate. I've today informed the Chief Whip that I will be standing down as a Member of Parliament with immediate effect. It's been an honour to serve the area which I was raised, educated, and I want to thank my constituents for their support 2010. So you can see what Max thinks about this. To be fair, he resigned today, so that's 3 in 2 days. It's not bad still. But he's gone. I don't know who this brother is. I'm not familiar with Nigel Adams, Yorkshire. There's nothing else in his bio apart from Yorkshire. But we're gonna play some clips here of Nadine Dorris's finest moments, I think. And yeah, let's have some fun on this stream. Let's have some fun here, honestly.
Was been established as a public...
Oops, my headphones are off. Bear with me one sec. After all, why not? Who's going to stop us? Mad Nads. She's not going to be an MP anymore. Bro is 83 years old. Who? This guy? This guy's 83. Nah, he ain't 83. Who's 83 years old? What? Anyways, let's go through Nadine Dorris's... this guy? Nigel Adams, right? Search Google. He's 56. He's 56. He's not 83. That only 2 MPs at the time can. There can be as many as they want. Oh, Bill Cash. Who's talking about Bill Cash? I must have missed something. Bill Cash, Johnny, damn it, Cthulhu. Anyways, let's go through some of Nadine Dorris's favourite moments here. Some of the best moments Politics Joe put up, and I'll be reacting to this video at some point during the week, no doubt.
Service broadcaster, and just because it's in receipt of public money, we should never...
So this is about Channel 4 apparently receiving public money. Oh, Bill Cash announced he won't stand. Interesting. That makes sense. If he's 83... That's Bill Cash is 83 and is retiring regarding the next election, so that's the confusion. Right, so Bill Cash basically standing down at the next election. That's the fine. 83. That's not a big surprise. He's been in Parliament for a while. His IQ is 8.3. Fair enough. Let's roast Phil. Go on, roast Bill Cash. Bill Cash. Yeah, I'm not too... If MPs are saying they're going to stand out in the next election, there's a lot of them that said they won't run. I think it's like 15 odd. He was an arch Brexiteer, yeah. I think there's about 15 that said they won't run in the next election. You got like Matt Hancock, what's his name? Sajid Javid. You've had quite a few saying they're not going to run again, which is fine. I don't think that's too bad. It's the ones that say they're going to resign now. They're the dangerous ones because that triggers by-elections. Excuse me. You guys can roast him. I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to debase myself. No, I'm joking. It's not one of those days. It's not one of those days. When he does something to deserve it, he'll get it. Same with anyone else. Yeah, they know they'll lose. Yeah, 100%. And they want to lose with some grace, I think. To say like, well, I wasn't kicked out. I left. I wasn't dumped. It was a mutual agreement. But yeah, let's have a listen to Mad Nads.
Never kind of audit the future of Channel 4, and we should never evaluate.
But Channel 4's not like the BBC. It's not in receipt of licence fee money. It makes its money from commercial
I think this guy's a Tory as well.
operations.
And so, although it's...
So she got corrected there because she said Channel 4 receives public money when it doesn't. What grace, what little dignity they have left, fact, and they don't have much. 0.0001% of dignity is still 0.0001% dignity. I'll be real with you. There's not much there. I'm trying my best not to be mean here on this glorious day. I'm trying my best.
Yeah, but
Coming up on tonight.
So yeah, you see her fumble here, which is great.
and
She can turn the
so
volume. So yeah, not a great start from Nads
although
here.
it's but
But
Coming up on tonight's programme, for a change, a man who is going to clear up a woman's mess. That's Rishi's vow as he enters number 10.
that's a bit embarrassing.
As you were, Sunak's stability extends to the cabinet.
Oh,
with
she's
the
struggling with that
big
teleprompter.
beefsteak and all her cages, but Braverman back at home in the Home Office. Sorry, I've just completely messed up.
Have you spoken to the Prime Minister recently in the last 24 hours?
why?
This is when I don't want to be mean here, but I don't know if she was sober here. And I know she said she's got, I think she's got diabetes or something like that. And she's said other things, right? But I am not, I've got family members that have diabetes and things like that. And they manage it. They managed it. One of them, my uncle had it. My granddad had it before he passed, right? They did not look like this. They did not look like this.
Why are you asking me that question?
I'd like to know.
On,
I think this is after Boris Johnson resigned.
we've communicated.
I'm really confused. Is that a difficult question?
We're responsible for making sure you have superfast broadband.
Oh my god, this is the music video she dropped. Oh my god.
In your home. That means you can downstream your movies. We're responsible for making sure the internet's a safe place for you to go to. We
Please.
want to make the internet in the UK the safest internet in the world. We're responsible for
What?
everything to do with sport, for making sure you've got football pitches and
We don't have football pitches. We don't have them. Our football pitches are trash. Honestly, yeah. They take the goalposts in the summer. So you can't play using the goalposts in the summer. This is garbage.
that you have tennis pitches in your communities.
You got to pay for those.
It's a perfect storm for some. It's Remainers who are taking in others who are disaffected, and for a number of reasons, those who lost their jobs in cabinet or as ministers. And I'm afraid anyone who says that this isn't organised is not telling you the truth.
If companies fail to comply with the law, fail to protect the users that they're responsible for, the regulator Ofcom will have the power to fine. So platforms must keep people safe online.
It's this here that gets me. It's
Power to fine. So platforms must keep people safe online.
it's like you're reading off your phone and it's just really scary, honestly. I think she might need glasses. I don't know, Sabine, and I don't really want to go there. It gets a bit weird. It's a bit weird, to be honest. It's that shot there that gets me every time, honestly. But yeah, I'll probably do like a little video reacting to this because it's just hilarious. The level of Tory politicians is pretty awful, especially after Johson. Yeah, he got rid of like Dominic Grieve, Churchill's grandson or something. He got rid of what's his name, Ken Clark. He got rid of all the boomers. You would say that like, oh excuse me. He got rid of all the boomers. You would say like are not stupid. They're Tories. Are they bad people? Probably. Can they mask it pretty well? Yes. You still had austerity boy Rory Stewart there, who is a guy I really don't respect, but at least he could string a sentence together and he would not get tripped up at this basic questioning where she made the claim like Channel 4 receives taxpayer funding when it doesn't. Oh yeah, I read about that Bellyfish. Yeah, he's been accused of all sorts. Yeah, I've heard about that recently. Yeah, he made a killing. He made a killing off the stock market. Shorting bonds and all sorts. He's made ridiculous amounts of money. But yeah, the level of Tory politician here is comically bad. It's comically bad, honestly. This is we're gonna talk about Boris Johnson a bit here. And yeah, this is the interview that should have tanked him. This is the interview that should have tanked him. I'll be honest.
Asks you to supply the address of a journalist, yes, so that he can have him physically assaulted, the words beaten up and broken ribs. are said to, and you, having heard that, you tell your friend, Darius Guppy, you will supply the address. What does that say about you, Boris Johnson?
Right.
Aren't you, in fact, making up quotes, lying to your party leader, wanting to be part of someone being physically assaulted? You're a nasty piece of work, aren't you?
Well,
This should have been the end. This should have been the end of his career. This right here should have been the end of his career. Making up quotes, helping a journalist be beaten, giving the address of someone threatening a journalist. This should have been the death of his career, but no, he somehow gets out of it. He maybe is made of Teflon. Honestly. The amount of stuff he got away with was just mad. Honestly mad. Because I think people didn't want to... they didn't want to accept the fact that the dude's malicious. He's malicious. He knows what he's doing. Let's dispel the notion Boris Johnson doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. This should have been it. This should have been rest in peace Boris Johnson. Should have been there at his eulogy of his political career. But no, he survived this somehow. And this is Eddie Mair, who was actually... Eddie Mair did a really good job here. Because he set it up perfectly. Honestly, just laid it out there and was like, this is you. This is who you are. And these are the type of journalists that England... I'm not going to say Scotland because I don't know. Maybe they have good journalists in Scotland. I assume they do. And they don't have politicians as slimy as ours, right? But these are the kind of journalists that England needs. It's the kind of interviews that England needs. People who just tell them straight. You organised a journalist to be beaten. This is the kind of journalism we need in this country. I'm going to blind you here by going into light mode. Zahawi on point of quitting with Alok Sharma. So Sharma's another one where Boris Johnson wanted him to get a peerage. And Alok Sharma was taken off the list for some reason. So, Wales as well. Yeah, I'm sure you've got good journalists in Wales. In England, though, we ain't got none of these men exist. None of these people exist in England. We're stuck with Robert Peston, and Laura Kuenssberg. They're the best we have. So, don't expect much from us here. But if you guys get him on the regionals or in kind of Scotland or Wales, and you get the chance to interview one of these politicians, if you're a journalist over there, make sure you take your shot and you don't miss, honestly. But yeah, Sunak could be facing 6 by-elections on Monday. So this from The Express, which took 2 people to write this article, so it's definitely good. People shouldn't have voted for him. They knew all this. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. 100%. They ignored all of it. Because... Why you got to do that, Conservator? Why you got to mention Piers Morgan? Why you got to do that? B&V are like straws. They are clutching, forgetting that B is retired. Who? Why you got to be like that, Conservator? Why do you have to mention Piers Morgan? Why you got to do that to us? It was all going well, and then you mentioned Piers Morgan. Goddamn, he's having a rough time, anyways, because of all the stuff going on with that Prince Harry's been saying in the courts. So he's having a fun time over there. But yeah, point being is, if he's facing 6 by-elections, he might lose 6 by-elections. I've not heard of that in politics, honestly. He might lose 6, and they'll be pretty much all on the same day. I think that I don't know what more he can do here, because I'm going to take this off here because Andrea Jenkins had said they're not going to have another leadership contest because that's going to destroy the party. That's what she said about a week ago. I remember I did a video on it recently. So, what that means is that what that means is they're going to continue on with Sunak as leader, even though they don't like him, because he was the pick for the Conservative Party. Let's not forget that the CLP they picked him. They rigged the rules to get Sunak, because last time he went against Liz Truss, he lost. And so what they didn't want was a situation where the MPs would basically allow a lunatic to go on to the membership. Excuse me. So what they did was they set it up for Sunak. They said it was, look, you need 100 MPs minimum to make it to the ballot. And they knew Sunak had 100 MPs because he got it before. He got it when Liz Truss ran for leader. So they knew he could get it. What they didn't anticipate was Boris Johnson running again and then backing out, because if he didn't do that, it would have been Penny Mordaunt versus Boris Johnson. Penny Mordaunt versus Rishi Sunak going to the membership, and I 100% believe that Penny Mordaunt would have beaten him, and we would have Penny for PM right now. But the Conservatives rigged it. The Conservatives rigged it for Rishi Sunak. Oh yeah, Liz Truss. Yeah, we cannot forget that Liz Truss lost to a lettuce. Sales of walk-in fridges have slumped. That was glorious, honestly. That's some of the best TV I've ever seen. But I want to cover some more stuff here, which is, this is, Conservative MPs going after their own MPs. I watched this and it was just, wow. It's just like this. It's that bad. It's that bad now. The Electoral Commission published they received an application to register a political party called the National Conservative. Yeah, they had a conference. The NatC conference. They had the NatC conference been this year. I'd say check that out if you have the mental faculty to do it, because they're a bunch of lunatics. I'll be honest. But yeah, let's have a watch of this video.
Group of us, Conservative MPs, about 20, met in my office, and we had a discussion about, were we happy with the direction of the party? Were we happy with Partygate? This is 3 months after the first Partygate allegation, and that is...
So this will be under Boris Johnson.
...is the legitimate thing for Conservative MPs to do.
And the papers went after... Johnson supporting papers went after you massively.
Oh, they did, absolutely, and that's because the whips told them to.
How does that...
So the whips of the party, right? The people who organise... One second. So what she's saying here is that the whips of the Tory party, the people who organise discipline within the... Wow, we hit 40 viewers. Mad. The whips of the Tory party, the ones who organise the party, tell you how to vote, etc., and pull out the Tory black book, effectively. They went after female MPs of their own party, and this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. This is only from yesterday. This
Whips told the papers to go after you.
Yeah, so essentially 20 of us met. That was our duty, because only Conservative MPs can decide who is Prime Minister during a political term. That was right for us to have a conversation. Was I launching a plot the day before I flew to Ukraine on a burner phone without my phone? No, I mean, no one can run a plot without their phone. But yeah, I came out the meeting. I came out the meeting and the whips briefed it out immediately. The whips came up with the term...
Your own party whips?
Yeah, my own party whips. And the chief whip then had no interest in me meeting with Boris and having a discussion about what had or hadn't happened.
So the chief whip blocked her having a direct conversation, which, is pretty cowardly. I don't know who was chief whip at the time, though. More resignations likely. Yeah, I see that, Alex. What we're saying is, they stopped a meeting face to face. Cowardly, and then it gets worse.
And what's really disappointing is that in the week after it happened, there was 20 of us in the room, only 2 women. Who did they go after? The 2 women in the room. They briefed out that one was having an affair, which she was not.
That's incredibly damaging. Especially to do that to a female MP, to say she was having an affair. That's very, very damaging. That would impact them a lot in their personal life as well as their professional life. Whoever did that, whoever briefed that, is a scumbag.
And the other, they briefed out that I was a bad mother. And that was their response to try and scare people, because they recognised that Boris...
They briefed she was a bad mother. This is stuff where, depending on what they said, that can get child services involved. That can get very dark real quick, depending on what they had said.
His behaviours had caused significant upset within the party.
I mean, that is dirty.
It is. And it's fascinating, because I spoke to the media the other day that somebody wrote an article about me with 3 anonymous quotes from Conservative MPs attacking me. And I rang the editor of the newspaper and I said, the political editor, and I said, have I ever given you a quote that says Conservative MP on background says, complaining about another colleague, speaking about them behind their back? And they said no. And I said, then why do you do it to me from other colleagues?
That's what I mean. It's scummy. It'll be a lot of these. There's a lot of redacted messages, guys, and I need you guys to do a better job of not writing things like that YouTube are saying, hey, do you want to publish this or not? All right, guys, I need you to just chill. All right. Now, point being is, they went after her on a personal level. They went after whoever the other female MP was on a personal level. This is what the Conservative Party has. The chief whip was mentioned, Chris Heaton-Harris. It was Chris Heaton-Harris. No, ain't no way. Wow, was he chief whip? I didn't even know that. It is the nasty party, but to be fair, we've seen this in other parties as well. Let's be honest now. We've seen it in other parties, and this is the danger of party politics. This is the danger here, because it's hella. It's a protect the leader and protect the front bench at all costs. That's what the mentality is. We're seeing that in Labour. I think we'll see it in the Greens. I think we have seen it a bit in the Greens. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check that. But this is the beast of party politics. Is you will do nothing to jeopardise the party, and if you criticise one of the front benchers, we can bury the story, and I think that's what they've done here. They've buried the story, or at least they try to, and they threatened this person. They threatened her. They went to the press, and no doubt they would have briefed further. They would have done further briefings into, to go against her. I don't see, it's nonsense. The party system, I mean, it's got to have some sort of not public oversight, some sort of parliamentary oversight, where, Parliament get involved at some level here, because they briefed against her in the press. They tried to destroy her. Violet. Who the hell is Violet? Oh, Ellie. I think she said she's shopping, it's probably why. But point being is, like, this is their own person. Yes, Conservator, thank you. Dude, I didn't realise you were live until you mentioned the views. Love the videos, but I haven't come to watch lately. Hi, mods, friend. I see if you... Yeah, no worries, Cole, mate. Just watch when you can, or if you don't want to, you don't want to. It's fine. It's not party politics per se. It's just the parties in the UK. It's not just the UK based parties though. You'll see it in other parties across the world. Like, these parties are so built to protect themselves from scandal that instead of openly challenging the people doing the scandals, what they do is they cover it up. And so what you do is you get more and more examples of the same people harassing people and all sorts of other stuff. And what happens is eventually it snowballs. It snowballs, and someone speaks out or someone finds out, and it gets public. And instead of dealing with a person committing one case of harassment or two, you have them commit 8 or 9. That's the problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and this is the case in this party. She wanted to speak to Boris Johnson and say, look, what the hell happened? And the whip told her, nah, you ain't doing that. And then they briefed against her. Mad. It's honestly mad. This happens in every... Yeah. Right or left, it don't matter. They'll bury scandals. They don't let it come to light. They bury it because they think it's more damaging that these scandals hit the media rather than actually dealing with it. Because you can have a system where the UK political system has very little to do with actual parties. Yeah, first past the post doesn't allow it. It's true for the most part. As with the cat. Point being is, you have a scandal. And you get more scandals that come out in the media, and that's dangerous, right? But at least you can say, we've dealt with it, or we have a process for dealing with it, and it's being dealt with. And these people get dealt with. They get suspended or whatever, right? There was one Labour MP very recently. He's been suspended and withdrawn. I don't know over what, but it's been withdrawn. You can have a system where you have a couple of more scandals, but they're dealt with much quicker, or you cover it up, and you hope those scandals don't hit the light of day. And what you do is you offer hush money. So there was a guy... he wrote for The Guardian. I'm not going to mention his name, but you can find it. The FT tried to do a story. It's a Me Too story. The FT tried to do a story on it, but the editor killed it. The FT's editor killed it. Because these people are interlinked. They know each other. Things like that. And that's one of the problems with the parties. Because these people know each other so well. They're so interlinked, right? And if you accuse someone of doing something, instead of trying to protect the victim, they protect the perpetrator. Because they know, once it hits the media, that's it. That's it. It's going to be public, and there's going to be all sorts of questions asked. So kill the story, kill whatever the complaint is, and that's it. That's all you have to do, and nothing more comes of it. Until you get someone who actually brave enough to speak out, like she is. Look, I don't like Tories. Honestly, I don't. But at least she was brave enough to say something. At least she come out and said, look, I was threatened. I wish you'd mention names. I wish you could mention who the chief whip was, or who the other lady, the other female MP was. But I guess if you do that, you kind of add to the allegations of the affair. So that's fine. I can see why she didn't mention the name. But I would like to have seen her mention who the chief whip was at the time. Fair enough, we can use Google, but most people don't want to use Google. Not one word in the mainstream media about the fraud report. Exactly, because you bury it. You bury it, and unless the media are looking for it, like Al Jazeera, let's be honest now, Al Jazeera are what, like, based in Qatar? That's it, and they're a foreign outlet, far away. It's not even the New York Times or anything like that. It's not a major outlet. It's Al Jazeera, who are big, more in the Arab world rather than the Western world. And I don't mind Al Jazeera; they do decent work. But yeah, this is the topic I'll be covering soon. But you can see the infighting in the Tory party. It's been toxic for a long time now, and it was built very much to protect the leader. Boris Johnson. But now he's gone. What do? Do they shiv Sunak in the back? Because he's the guy who they see as shivving Boris Johnson, even though it wasn't really him. It's Boris Johnson. He crumbled under the weight of his own scandals. Are you gonna blame Sunak, or are you gonna blame Boris Johnson? And you're gonna finally realise that he was a bad pick. He gave you a big victory, but at what cost? At what cost? Especially in 2019, where if they put up someone competent, they probably would have won anyways. Let's be honest now. They wouldn't have won the big majority they did, but who cares? Win a 15-seat majority, and at least you have the longevity of your party, because this is the evisceration. I think not the evisceration, but this is the Tory party going to the wilderness for a long time now. Could you imagine a world where they could have less MPs than the SNP who just run in Scotland, or the Lib Dems? Could you imagine that? That's for the party. That's unimaginable. That's never happened. That's never happened before. That they would be the third party in Parliament. Could you imagine being the leader of that party? How embarrassing it would be. So close to hitting 50 people. It's mental. Absolutely mental. But yeah, honestly, it's raining down. Yeah, shouts out Canada. They're having some problems. We need a national unity government. I don't think it's even that. It's just someone with half a brain, honestly, who can say, these are the problems in the UK. These are the problems in the UK, and this is the way we can deal with it. We have to be open and honest. That's what has to happen now. We have to have a process of honesty in this country where we look at the problems we have, the corruption, the businesses going bankrupt, stuff like that. Brexit. We have to have that discussion with people. Honestly, too many Canadians as is. That's the discussion we need to have, and be honest with people that the problems we have. That's it. And until we get that far, it's just not going to change, because we're stuck in a cycle of no one wants to talk about the problems we're facing with actual honesty. You've got the Labour Party saying, "Oh, we're going to pull back on all the climate investment funding we want to do," in a week where Canada is burning. There are Canadian wildfires that are affecting New York. Those wildfires are going so far as to impact Norway. England needs better quality politicians. Yeah, we've been lacking for a while. Honestly, if people call Starmer a liar openly, maybe that would change things, but Canada's on fire, Verty. Someone's shouted "cut on" and started breathing fire everywhere. We need a breakup of the murky Murdoch media. Honestly, yeah, I think we do. A couple of more topics. This I found really bizarre. I've seen some people defend it, but I don't get why. Let me close some of these tabs. I don't get why people are defending this decision, which is Question Time. Question Time have said that to mark the anniversary of the referendum, it's going to have an all Brexiteer audience for a special. It doesn't seem very impartial to me. Why they're doing this, I don't know. Are the panel
coming up on Thursday?
Are the panel going to be full of Brexiteers as well? I don't know. I don't see the point of this, unless you're bringing on people that are, realise Brexit was a mistake or have regrets and stuff, and they can talk about it within an echo chamber, I guess. No, there won't be enough voice live stream. The Champions League's on tonight, but not, the champions, the champions. I did want to talk about this final bit here before we go off, which is search on Google, how to start a forest fire. I came up with, bruh, these jokes. So I saw this clip from Michelle Barnier, right? And I saw this thing from Nick Tyrone, which, essentially Barnier said, the UK, the UK will always be able to join the EU. The door is always open. But he does talk about the fact that it's going to go through negotiations and stuff like that. So let's have a listen.
The door is open any time. I always say that during negotiations.
This is a guy who's, I think, built his career out of being a diplomat and a negotiator. These guys are hardwired to say it's possible, but that's what these guys are built like. These people are built like, because that's their job, is to negotiate.
After negotiation, the door
can remain
open.
Mm.
Would
the terms be significantly worse than the last time?
To be clear, the UK government, the current government, the next government, knows exactly what are the terms and the conditions to be part of the single market, to be part of the customs union, to rejoin the EU. The point is to know what would...
Don't appreciate him separating out all three, because that makes some people giddy.
...happen during this time.
Oops.
how far, what will be the size of the divergence between us and a new candidate. So this is the point.
There it is. There,
size of the divergence between us and a new candidate. So
a new candidate, yeah. He doesn't say what it's going to cost. That's the problem. And the idea that of course the door is open, it's a better. Yeah, that's the thing. And the door is open. I don't think I've ever denied that. I said, can we rejoin the EU? Yes. Is it very unlikely? Yes, because you have to change the mentality of the voters. That's the problem. You have to change the mentality of the British people to, for them to accept at bare minimum the four freedoms. And the problem is people still don't want freedom of movement. I don't think. Because as soon as they hear Bulgarians and Romanians, they're like, oh no, I don't like freedom of movement. I want it for the proper Europeans. So it's just ridiculous, honestly. I just don't get it. And he also talks about in a different clip with Bloomberg, which I wanted to play actually. New candidate is a key. Yeah, new candidate. Yeah. He does talk about kind of the this kind of links into the PEM as well, which is we'll play this clip and we'll go through it.
Point is not.
He doesn't mention the PEM directly, but you missed a lot, QA.
To be more friendly or less friendly. We face clearly and mechanically the consequences of the Brexit. And as far as...
Yes, the mentality has to change, and we have to see ourselves as a team player in a larger team rather than, we're the big three. We're the big three, we make the rules, you follow the rules, etc. All of that nonsense has to go. All the xenophobia, all of the dog whistles, all of that stuff has to go. The day British people are like, when Nigel Farage says stuff like, I don't want to live next door to a Romanian or whatever he said, right? That mentality has to die. That's the only way.
The car industry is concerned, as far as financial services are concerned, Brexit means Brexit. You can be out or in the single market at the same time. You cannot dance in two weddings at the same time.
And I understand, but you can put the rules in a way that's more advantageous for both parties and not. That's fair, right? You can come to agreements.
As far it is for both parties.
Right.
But the task.
Thanks, Fact. Yeah, appreciate that, man. This is the important bit here. I don't know if you're going to stick around for it, Fact, but no, I appreciate you joining the stream and everyone else who's here.
The European Commission, the European Parliament, the Member State is to defend the EU interests. And as I said...
Say that again, Michel, mate.
EU interests. The duty of the European Commission, the European Parliament, the Member State is to defend the EU interests.
So there you go. That's the point here. That links into this of, yes, we can rejoin, but is it in the EU's interest to rejoin? Is it in the EU's interest to bring in 2:07 a.m.? Yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah, bro, get some sleep. Get some sleep, man. I'll see you soon, no doubt. But this is the point here of, is it in the EU's interest for the UK to rejoin as we are right now? No. We have to go through a process of reformation. Because we still don't want, I still don't think we'll fully accept the four freedoms or anything like that, or our obligations as a member. This is the problem that people kind of, like this guy here, Nick Tyrone or whatever his name is, doesn't get. The door is open. We're going to have to negotiate our way back in. We're going to have to adhere to the Copenhagen criteria, things like that. We're going to have to prove to ourselves we're a team player, and a lot more.
And as I said, we can face a situation where there is a kind of cherry picking in this.
God, I hate when EU diplomats use that phrase. I get flashbacks of Jean-Claude Juncker.
Single market. The single market is our main asset. The main reason why the China or US respect us is the single market, which is much more than a free trade zone. It is clearly a ecosystem with common norms, common standards, the same regulations, same supervision, and the same jurisdiction. So that is a single market. So we cannot accept any kind of unraveling of the single market. Never.
There is the EU will act within its own interests. Now the EU is even different to the Americans in the sense of certain states I think allow you to have lower standards on certain goods, whereas the EU doesn't even let you do that. There's a base floor. First, you need to meet the essential criteria. I think Barnier is saying like we're free to put our application in and we're free to try. The door is always open for us to rejoin. Yes, but we have to go through the process of rejoining, and it can't be us saying, "Oh, we're a big economy, that's why we're going to rejoin. We have big army, We have Trident. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know, what we have to do is prove ourselves to be a valuable asset to the EU. That's the only way this is going to play out. Not through the military we have, or the security, or all this other stuff, you know. That's what the EU is built for. The Commission, the Parliament, all of this stuff is built to protect itself. It's built to protect itself, and it will never jeopardise it, because why would it do it? That's why, like Barnier said, that's why the EU is respected by other big economies. Yeah, Juncker, what a scumbag. Well, I say that he's just a deeply unlikable guy. A deeply unlikable guy. I'm just gonna check if the football started. To be honest with you, just bear with me 1 second. No, it's not started yet. It looks like it's ads. It looks like it's gonna start soon. Yeah, I need to order some food, guys. But yeah, can the UK be trusted? Yeah, these are the things I'm talking about. Like, did I make my announcement? Am I pregnant? Did he finally learn to cook proper spaghetti? My spaghetti cooking skills were never in doubt. Am I adopting a second cat? No. Am I pregnant? No. Yes, I did make my announcement. I'm getting a full-time job on Tuesday, so I'm starting on Tuesday. So it's gonna be uploads will be patchy, potentially. It might be every other day. Kickoffs in 50 minutes. Oh my days. Oh, that sucks. I thought it was meant to start. Oh, it starts at 8. It doesn't start 7. Oh, I'm a dunderhead. It's at 8. So yeah, I found a job. It means I can get the equipment I want for the channel. I'm looking at getting a new microphone here. I'll show you the one I'm looking at. Have I got it here? No, I was looking at. No, I do have it here. Bear with me 1 second. So I'm gonna get a new microphone. It's gonna be this one. This one's quite good. What's the job? It's gonna be administrative work. I can't go into more detail than that because I don't want to get doxxed or anything like that. So yeah, this is the new mic I'm planning to get within a couple of weeks potentially. God damn it, I hate Google Chrome so much sometimes. So annoying. So yeah, it's gonna be. Oh no, there's a tweet from Sir John Redwood. Let's see if that's any funny. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna have a look. So yeah, I'll be starting soon. I'm gonna look at getting some new equipment and things like that. Oh no, where's it gone? I saw it. Something from John Redwood. Oh, Nadine Dorris speaks to Sky. Nope, she didn't speak to Sky. She just ran off. So yeah, I'll be starting. I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks. I'll be starting on Tuesday. So it means I've got to put a lot of work in tomorrow and sound. I don't think is there a sound issue. I'm trying to find that video, but Twitter's such a mess. I'm trying to find it where it's gone. One of the troops in the royal thing fainted today. Nadim Zahawi looking at quitting. You love to see it, honestly. It's great stuff. I don't think I'll find it. Sucks. There's one of John Redwood. Want to see what he says. Margaret Beckett, first woman foreign secretary, introduced national minimum wage. Did she die or something? Oh, she might have passed away. Yeah, Margaret Beckett. I think I don't know what's happened to her actually, but they were talking about it. I did see some tweets about it today. But yeah, it won't be. It's not going to be the end of content on the channel. It's going to be probably 3 videos a week, 3 to 4 videos a week, depending on the type of content. And it'll be this live stream probably every Saturday. I'll be honest. I'm hoping that at some point I can put the live stream on video. But yeah, no, I was trying to find the stupid video. Oh my god. Some really just not great stuff. Just Twitter. Twitter's just it's just awful now. I'm never gonna find that John Redwood video, am I? I'll just see what's trending. Let's see if that's trending. Tiananmen is trending. Why is he trending? Oh no, this live stream's gonna divide into madness if I continue with this. Anyways, as I was saying, so yeah, I'll be starting on Tuesday. I don't think there's too much more that I was going to say on stream. But yeah, there were some wild videos. There's the Barnier one. I was looking at talking about Labour pulling back from their green pledges, but I'll have to figure that one out. I'm still waiting on to see if there's any new data off the polls as well, because I haven't seen much change from there. But we still need to wait and see. Tories face third by-election. Nothing really new on BBC News. Tories facing a by-election. Just really depressing stuff on BBC News. Apparently Ukraine's confirmed their counter-attack, so that's interesting. I don't think there's too much more of interest. Nah. Trump to make first speech since federal charges. I suppose so, but it's just sad because the channel's so close to hitting 7,000 subscribers. If you have a look, let's go to the channel. It's just really close to hitting 7,000 subs, and it just means I have to slow down again. I've done it before, but it's a bit frustrating. Labour are focused on saving money for the food crisis. To be fair, there's a meme of Starmer saying we can't afford that, which is pretty funny. It makes me laugh. But yeah, it's good stuff. But it'd be probably 3 videos a week. It just depends on topics. Cause I wanted to do more like essay stuff. Like I've got some here that I want to get out. But the problem is, Max will stream at 8:30. So he's going to stream about an hour and a bit. He's going to be competing with the Champions League final. So best of luck to him on that one. That's a risky bet if I've ever seen one. Because you ain't beating football. No one's beating football, dog. Especially not tonight. This is a big match. So yeah, best of luck to him on that one. Goddamn. But 3 to 4 videos a week potentially. A live stream. I wish I was over 10k. Someone mentioned Ukraine. With that in mind, Free Palestine. Who is this Max guy? We have beef. I don't have beef with Max. There's no beef with Max. Who watches football? A lot of people watch football. A lot of people, including myself. There's no beef with Max. Max has a channel. Max's channel is quite cool. I like Max. Only sane people on their live stream then. Yeah, no, I've not got beef with anyone on YouTube, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm cool enough to have beef with just yet anyways. Maybe when the channel's a lot bigger, people can have beef with me. But for now, it's more one-sided than anything. But in all honesty, it's been good. Like I said, starting the job on Tuesday. 28 billion for the Green Deal. They want to save money for emergency. Yeah, the problem. They've got options. They've got like green bonds they can sell and other such things. But the problem is like they're saying they're going to ramp up to it, and you can't talk about a climate emergency, right? The problem I have with Labour is that they come out with these big promises that they're going to do, right? They're going to say, oh, we're going to invest 28 billion in this and 40 whatever in that, right? They don't say how they're going to fund it, but whatever. That's a Tory thing. Government can find money if it needs to invest in things. That's fine. Why are you suddenly pulling back now, given the fact that they blame Liz Truss, right, for the gilt edge thing, the gilt prices, right? The thing is, like, this is the gilt price, right? They were already fairly high anyways. To be fair, when she made a promise that was actually a lot lower, the interest rates. Oh no, maybe she's got a point, but the whole thing with the bonds is just, it's like you're gonna have to borrow money. Like, let's not get twisted. You're not generating 28 billion in surplus. And as you're gonna have to borrow for it. And if you tell people you're gonna borrow to invest, that's a much easier conversation than saying, we're not gonna fund this or whatever they're doing. Man City versus Inter Milan. Yeah, that's gonna be a big game. Honestly, we pray. A moment of silence. We pray for Inter Milan. Hopefully Matteo Darmian does the thing. Yeah, 48 billion on test and trace. What's it called? 37 on test and trace, 48 on PPE. Like, this investment would create jobs as well. All this money would create jobs. So it's just ridiculous. Labour will have a lot on their plate, but why make these big promises then? You already knew you inherited a mess. She made this promise in 2021, a year plus into the pandemic. So it's just, why make the promise in the first place? Why do it and then have to pull back? This is what I mean with Labour. It's they don't announce anything, and people are like, what's their policy on this? And they announce stuff without offering how they're going to fund it or anything like that, and then they pull back and look stupid. Starmer's biggest problem is that he looks very untrustworthy, and in my opinion, he's going to struggle against the Lib Dems. He's going to struggle because I think, right, and the problem for me is the polls don't bear this out, so it's a hunch more than anything, and it's the Lib Dems. If we look at this page quickly, right. The last poll they got is from June 5th, and it's before any of this stuff has kicked off. Because this stuff's only really kicked over the weekend. You got Lib Dems on 11, and you've got Conservatives on 28 and Labour on 28. So you would think the Lib Dems wouldn't be a major problem, but it all depends on how their vote share is spread. But for me, I'm surprised the Lib Dems aren't polling higher. I imagine they will do in the future. But yeah, Labour are going to run into problems. If Ed Davey does well in those TV debates, Labour are going to be in big trouble, in my opinion, anyways. Everything changes when the campaign starts. Disillusion with the Labour Party. Yes, I think you're right, Jennifer. I think that's where Starmer needs to convince people he's trustworthy, and I don't know how he does that. I don't know how he convinces people he's trustworthy. That's going to be difficult. Because the Tories have done a decent job of portraying Starmer as a liar, as someone who can't be trusted to keep his policies. And so what that means is like it doesn't help Labour when they have, when people have in their minds a track record of them crashing the economy, which we know isn't true. When they, all the bad press that Jeremy Corbyn got, some rightfully, some wrongfully, none of this stuff really helps Labour, because they still have to get rid of that bad image that they've had over, since the 2008 financial crash, really. And I don't know. Ben Shaw, I will not allow slander. I will not allow that kind of slander on the chat. I will not allow it. You best watch yourself, big man. He's got to be careful, and I don't know how. Chances are he might get lucky. He might get lucky, and Tory vote just collapses. Boom. People don't vote, or they just vote Labour because they hate the Tories that much, right? But chances are that's not going to happen. Chances are those people are going to stay home. We saw that with North Shropshire. The one Owen Patterson's former seat, right? The reasons the Lib Dems won it wasn't just because the Lib Dem votes, the Tories switched to Lib Dems. The reason they won it is because people stayed home. And so if that happens, Labour might get lucky, people might just stay home. Tories might just stay home, not vote. And if that happens, then, Labour have a better shot of winning. But I can't imagine Labour are going to flip a lot of Conservative voters. I just can't see it. The Lib Dems are the best place to do it, always have been. But I think Ed Davey is boring, but Ed Davey isn't an idiot. I think Starmer is seen as someone who's untrustworthy. Ed Davey doesn't have that. I still think they should have went with Layla Moran, but that's a different rant for a different day. Starmer is bland and unforgettable. Plus, he hasn't kept any of his promises so far. Yeah, it's not great. Maybe if Keir Aura stops, what's Keir Aura? Stops supergluing his hair in place, he will loosen up. I'm not going to comment on that, but the wax he uses is pretty strong. I mean, he's already struggling to defend Starmer. I've seen it already. He's already struggling a bit, and I think it will happen more and more where those guys over at Labour Social, I think, will continue to struggle defending. Yo, don't talk about that, man. Yo, Ben, you're asking too many questions here, dog. I don't appreciate it. But I think the more Labour kind of spiral out of control, the more you will see those guys struggle to defend Labour. You notice he didn't do a video on Labour talking about the 38 billion thing. At least as far as I'm aware, he didn't. And he probably won't, given the fact that this weekend was a good weekend for them to release bad news, because Boris Johnson was like, oh, you're going to break your promises, huh? I'm about to blow up the system. I'm about to blow up the thing. That's what happened. And Boris Johnson, he did it. He took a missile, took one of those Predator drones to British politics. It was like, pew, because he resigned, or Mad Nads resigned. Johnson, not Jess Phillips, no, definitely not. Nads resigned. This guy, whatever his name is, the very forgettable guy, he resigned. So Sunak has 3 by-elections to deal with, potentially 6 on Monday if the Express's source checks out. But if we say 5, it's 5 by-elections to deal with. That's a monumental feat. He's got not much money in the bank in terms of the Tory party as a party, not a ton of money there. And he's going to have to somehow win these seats when most of the time, sometimes the incumbent party loses by-elections because people use that to send a message. to the party in charge. And boy, will it be one hell of a message if they lose all of these by-elections, especially because these are Tory safe seats. These are Tory safe seats. Nadine Dorries is South Bedfordshire or something like that. Boris Johnson is Uxbridge. And I don't know what that guy is, but I'm assuming he's in a Tory safe seat as well. So if the Tories start losing more and more safe seats, which they lost under Boris Johnson, they lost Cheshire and Amersham, they lost they lost Cheshire and Amersham, they lost North Shropshire, they lost a third one, I think, to the Lib Dems. I can't remember which one that was. So they have lost safe seats before, but this is pressure piling on Sunak because Boris Johnson is a proven winner. He won mayoral elections. He won the big election, right? He won Brexit. He's a proven winner. Rishi Sunak's got no wins. He's got no wins to speak of. That's the difference. And I think you could, if you were a Tory, you could say, well, Boris Johnson's struggling in the polls right now, as he does. He's not looking great in the media, but the dude's a The dude's a winner. He's won. He won a big majority, biggest majority, I think, in Tory history, I believe. He's a winner. And so, you can put that faith in him. The guy's won before. He's a madman. He's a maniac, but maybe he's a mad genius. Maybe he's built different. You can't say that about Rishi Sunak. He's David Cameron. He's boring. He's bland. He struggles in debates sometimes, and he's got no actual policies. There's not really a core there beyond he voted for Brexit. That's all he has. I'm just going to read some comments and we're going to sign off. Labour have been pulled into the Tories. Emperor's New Clothes game. Yeah, it does look like it. See. Boring is fine. Bland and forgettable is not so much. Starmer's Labour need to lay out their plans and stick to them. No one knows what they stand for. Yeah, I think they need to start outlining key policies, I think. Start outlining beyond this, we want the highest sustainable growth in the G7. Get out of here with that garbage. Honestly. But, they need to start drafting some sort of manifesto. They've got a draft out there, to be fair, but we need a bit more kind of stuff they're planning on doing. Just float it in the media. Give us some idea, like we said last week about Professor Vernal saying, throw us a bone at least. That's what we want to see, because otherwise you just see more and more apathy and people just not voting, honestly. Let's see, Labour, Greens and Lib Dems need to come up with an agreement of who's going to stand in those seats. I don't think it'll be formal, honestly. I think it'll just be Labour just not really, those kind of parties just not pushing these seats. And to be fair, the Greens have bigger problems anyways because Caroline Lucas is gone. If I remember correctly, in the Indy, they speculated this autumn. What? What are you talking about? I have to find the original comment. Could a general election happen before 2024? Possibly. Possibly it could happen. I don't know. And I don't think they'll trigger it because even if he loses 15 MPs, he's still got a stonking majority. And they're not going to trigger a leadership contest because it's too toxic. They've had a change. This is their third Prime Minister in the space of about 4 years. You can't. That's not sustainable. Really, it's in the space of 3 years, let's be honest. 3 leadership changes in 3 years. That's ridiculous. Well, he did win lots of deaths, yes, you're not wrong. It's really a question about a person, isn't it, about policies and party influence. It's both, Johan. It's both, you still need a personality to win in British politics. Tony Blair had personality. Thatcher had some personality. John Major probably the only outlier there. But, you need some personality. People have to, the problem with people in England is they want to be able to like you as a politician. That's the problem, in my opinion, anyways. Little Rishi doesn't have big enough boots, though. I mean, his boots are huge. Probably got big ass insoles as well. Boris Johnson is a replacement religious leader. Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't understand. If IRC means if I remember correctly. There you go. And that's the thing. Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks, Kieran. And that's the thing with the Tories. That's the reason why they've stuck around so long, because they will change. They will change with the times. Let me see if I can find. There's a really good speech by Big Boss. Let me see if I can find it. This will be the last thing. Yeah, I can see that. Big Boss speech. Peace Walker change. Is it this? Bear with me. I just want to see if it's this. Just want to see if it's this video. I should prepare these better. It's one where he gives a big speech about, you know, the need for change.
Which establishment?
To this?
It won't be a particular country or ideology that hunts us.
His voice is so
then?
cool.
We are going to be fighting the biggest beast.
There it is. There it is. There. This is the biggest enemy for the Tories. Honestly, this is something I'll play at some point soon. This is the biggest, and this is what the Tories have done so successfully. Is they've changed. They've morphed as a party.
We are going to be fighting the biggest beast of all. The Times. 10 years ago, the Times rejected.
To this?
Will the Times erase us?
This is the biggest problem the Tories are going to run into. You know, they have to change. And, you know, they change to win. They change to win the election. Too few tabs, huh? Yeah. Oh, the Senate, that, you know, he talks about the, you know, they'll become wherever the Times need them to become. It was pretty good, actually. Oh, if they can do Keith Sutherland's voice by AI, Jesus, they'll save so much money. It's not the right one, but point being is the Tory party needs to change, and you know the Times have evolved past them. You know, I don't think people want the populists anymore because it's rough out on these streets. You know, the populists have made it worse for people. The populists have absolutely made it worse for people. And so what that means is like the Tory party kind of morphed people's ideologies. You know, in 2019 around Brexit, and the problem is now people are realising it's a bad idea. And, you know, that means the Tory party has to change ideologically. But how do you change midway through a parliament? It doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know what more to say on this subject. The live stream, I just want to end on saying the live streams will continue. There'll be... How there's so many server issues with YouTube? God damn. What the hell, man? Honestly, I just want to say, like, these streams will continue every Saturday or Sunday. Videos will be a bit sketchy. It'll be a bit difficult to do because I have to physically go into the office. But these streams will definitely stay. I'm going to try and do 3 to 4 videos a week. It won't be one a week. That'll be 2. I just don't think that'll work with the channel. So 2 to 3 videos a week, potentially. And yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, it's going to slow down, but I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. It just depends on how much this shop takes out of me because, like I said, you know, I can get a load of new equipment and stuff. But it's like, at some point, if I stop doing the content, what's the point of getting the equipment? Are you working in a photo hut? I am not, unfortunately. That sounds really fun, but I need to just figure out what I can do, kind of on a personal level. I think we've had around... Bear with me. We've had around, you know, we peaked at around 47 people in the stream, so that's great. You know, I think that's a record. God damn, that is moving fast. That's trying to catch up. I think that's a record for today. So, you know, we've still got 34 people here now. I think that's a pretty good result. But I'm gonna end the stream there, and yeah, we're gonna build. Hopefully, get the studio done this year. Hopefully, get a new mic. Get, you know, wherever the hell. I think he's got like an Elgato face cam camera, something like that. He's got like, Allshaw's got like a ridiculously good one. So yeah, I'll be looking at that, no doubt. Yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button. If anyone watched this back, you know, if you've watched this after the fact and after the stream is gone, I appreciate it. Thanks, great first stream for me. Yeah, no worries. You know, I'm not stopping anytime soon. At least, you know, I say that. Hopefully, I don't stop anytime soon. But yeah, I'll catch you guys. Next Saturday. No more PMQs for me, unfortunately. So I'll see you all next Saturday. I'll put a community post up on Monday. Please no streams on Sunday. Try and stop me. I need a new one because it's all the outside sound. So if someone uses the blender or the washing machine, or if it's raining outside, you can hear it on the mic. I don't like it, and I can add like a noise gate and stuff, but it does weird stuff to the sound. Honestly, I don't appreciate it. But yeah, no doubt, it won't be me being gone. You'll see me soon. And yeah, I'll be live streaming next Saturday. Community post will go up on Monday. So just keep an eye on for that. If you don't know where the community section is for the channel, just go on the channel, go on the community section. Boom, there's all the posts and stuff. So you'll see that every Monday. You'll see a community post, and all you got to do is just ask a question. If you've got a question, click on the post, or write your comment, write your question down, and I will get to it on Saturdays. See, yeah, no doubt some of you guys will be on Max's stream. If you're watching the final today, we hope and pray into Milan. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Saturday. All right, bye.